active for 30 seconds.
Shocking to me. Thank you, bro. Oh my god. Chad, oh my god, when I tell you this was one of the best feelings in the world. Guys, at the beginning of the video, I completely sucked at PCB. I saw that. This is what hard work and commitment. This is definitely a step in the right direction. They landed on practically the devil for the rest of the night, but still, they begin to my teammate. I would get to receive any DM from him to get on or anything. And plus the fact I still think it only problem is every time I run the life skills to try to get these out for him, I just keep playing. Like sure, I'm better at PvP now, but for some reason I still can't survive on ice. Luckily, Jericho gave me a heart, but Big Nick saw it and immediately left. I mean, that's just embarrassing. But basically, my awareness and game sense are just shit. So if I can find a way to fix that, I'll be this is exactly why I'm here. This is exactly how I'm this player is teaching me game sense and how to never game sense or shit. So if I can find a way to fix that, I'll be the perfect gaming voice. This is exactly why I'm here. This is exactly how I'm This player is the perfect fit for teaching me game sense and how to never die of this game.
I'm gonna do this for you here, and I just want you to start, like, trying to beat the game.
Okay, hold on a second. Why is my $1,000 coach telling me to create a normal Minecraft? Well, see, my coach's name is Red Rat, and he's a professional Minecraft speedrunner. Okay, he can beat the game in 30 seconds, but what does that even matter? How is he gonna get me better? Well, speedrunners have insane game sense. I mean, think about it. They have to go through the entire game without dying or messing up a single time, because if they do, it ruins their run. And not only that, but Red Rat is one of the top speedrunners in the world and knows some of the coolest and best tricks in Minecraft that maybe could help me get all the loot I need without dying. Because I am at 1 heart right now, so I need to get really good at not dying or at least being really aware.
Let me just, like, watch the play again.
Okay? Alright. Alright. Now, the way Red Rat is that he's obviously not going to be like any of the other coaches, but I do know he's mainly smart and he knows coaches. Sure.
Game sense, being aware, making, like, good decisions, right? It's like, not focusing, you know, like, about, okay, I think,
I was able to get these because in Bastions, in Transfer Bastions, if you go to the bottom, always have diamond armor. That was super easy to get.
What was your My niece in Romania married a neo-Nazi last week, or at least we thought he was, because of his long Facebook history, racist liar. So, I had a 4-hour car ride. I had a long trip. He quit because he left the name after they left Israel. He realized everyone was pretty much the same after drinking with them and smoking a joint after work. There was nothing about Facebook doing the same thing he was. He basically quit Facebook and started getting his tax modified. And haven't touched politics at all since 3 or 4 years. Story 2. This is long, but I'm putting it out. It was 30 years ago. I only told this story 3 times. It wasn't organized into anything identifiable. It was full and large enough like my name or not in the area. We all hated it. Weekend nights we spent at close bars, whenever I could talking about some we could learn how they not let someone traffic just because it was black. Edited that for clarity. You get wrapped up in that echo chamber. It's all you hear. The little things that happen between races start to seem like fading trends. I went from being a guy who went to one of those bars to joke, to making friends with people there, to having them. And that attitude became part of my life. I lived that life. I was that guy. You want to fit in, so you find your own stories to share. Start subconsciously picking up anything. The racial stereotypes. It fits the narrative. Minor things. They were important. And almost not like
Ugh.
I think everyone has a unified this part. All black. Oh wow. That is all There's a couple of dozen hanging out around a bonfire at my farm, and I was listening to this guy I really didn't like go on a drunken rant about how white people and black people are different. He'd scream, "They all sell drugs," and I think, well, you dumbass. They're all on welfare, just living on these scam checks. They're all a bunch of thieves. Coming from someone who's been to jail several times for stealing materials from construction sites, I quite literally sat on a log around that fire and had a moment of enlightenment. His rant was almost like a voiceover for everything he said, or everything someone jokingly added to the looking for guilty of exactly what they were shaping someone else with. I looked at these friends, these people I shared 100 meals and 1,000 years with, and saw them all. There was nobody there I actually wanted to be around anymore. 10 minutes earlier, I'd seen him attract the family. I can't really describe it. It's like they all changed physically. The longer I looked at them, the more they were. They were no longer part of the country. They were all ignorant of their entire body themselves. People wore the one thing nothing except figuring out how to become country, so they didn't have to have a lot of society. They were exactly what they said everything. I was just sick with the girl at the age. I looked at them instead of all I could see was every girl negative got you roll high, black start to come, trying to say, you've never done anything wrong. I've never felt I forever be one. I'll never have the words to explain. I'm not that. I talked to the girl one time. I promised I would get I needed a I called my mom. Told her I needed by Friday, I need God save me. Ready. Y'all can stop. I appreciate that y'all see that way better. Especially on the y'all don't find hopefully somebody the teenager I used to know a lot of was almost funny. I adored anything. Sex, violence, charity, better than mine. I did all that. out. He was a true friend. I haven't spoken with him in over 6 years. Looked at Facebook. It was a good decision for me. It was a real loss. Looking back, it's crazy to me how I was able to brush off all the stuff he said. Dude actually had a copy of Mein Kampf as a teenager. He said that he genuinely believed that fascism was the only way to keep people from falling into chaos. You have no idea how effed up your surroundings can be until you get out of it. I'm disgusted when I look back at some of the things that I freely laughed at simply because it seemed normal at the time. Kids can really lack perspective. I try to give people a chance. It's very easy. There could be another kid like me out there who's just hanging around the wrong people. Story 4. I started to get older and learn more compassion. I was a lonely kid and I didn't have many friends. I already grew up in a racist household, and many of my family members are neo-Nazis, covered with white supremacy tattoos. I discovered a group of older skinhead kids, and I fell into it pretty bad. As I was learning more compassion and slowly was shedding my neo-Nazi beliefs, my buddies were bragging that they beat the F out of another mutual friend of ours, and he said he wasn't a Nazi anymore and he was dating a black chick. I was already thinking about leaving. It was basically a little gang. Once I found out they were beating up people for leaving, I realized it really was like a gang, and I didn't want anything to do with it. I was shedding my racism, and I didn't want to be involved. So I thought if I was a piece of crap enough to be a Nazi in the first place, I deserved to get beat up anyway. And meant that I could get away for life from Nazis, then that was good enough for me. I've still been a neo-Nazi for longer than an anti-Nazi, but I'm looking forward to the day I can say I'm an anti-Nazi for longer than Story 2. My uncle was part of the Navy. Very homeless and KKKs applied to how based on the story. But he tried to win and once arm jumped by weapons at his chest. He had to get around the state. It's strong display of the wall. Just the state like no possible. Story 6. A long time ago, a buddy of mine put a plane after he was barely not getting his head taken off by a thing. He and his fellows were in the trucks driving along. He saw a truck driving through what they thought was their town. Said truck had a blackout. Nothing passengers. Big kind of felt like work. They get sent to the States, big hollering, and said, my friend was leaning out his window to get us asking her if he could ask her Fred saw the motor so slightly. The side mirror was going. He realized how close he was when someone was in a few months, he was winding back Story 7. I was raised by white supremacists who were active in the movement in Canada. It occurred when I was 15, when I was pretty much stopped just accepting that my parents were right on everything, and talking to my grandfather at the right time of their life, telling me how he ended up in Canada because his brother outed him as a communist, and he had to run. I remember, how in the hell does a communist raise a fascist? He said he could only give his children what he thought was right and wrong, but once they were adults, they were responsible for figuring the rest out, and that just as my mother rejected what he tried to impart on her, I could do the same. Story 8. Not me, but my grandfather evidently was a member of either the Klan or associated gang group back in the 1960s. He became a born-again Christian and walked away from it. There is little evidence in his history as I grew up. I only found out after my mother told me about it after he passed away. Story 9. I have an acquaintance who works to help reform Nazis. According to her, a lot of people leave the movement not because they've met a change of heart, but because their lives have been threatened by their fellow Nazi friends. And since a lot of them have alienated their families and have no one to turn to support the community, they'll often end up with these formal government-sponsored reform programs. She said that even though a drastic political shift might not be the catalyst for those who join the program works with individuals being able to slowly shift their mandated therapy. I should clarify, my understanding is that it is only mandated if they wish to continue the program and services. No one's required to participate in voluntary and such. She said she's definitely seen some success stories, but has also seen some people who never quite have it. It wasn't actually a memory, but when I saw that someone I got curious and I discovered it. A lot of your sources and stuff is great. Behavior. I got the F out. It's like complicated stuff. And we forgot the thing, but a lot of the propaganda all throughout the all of the reasons crap. I found this guy. But it fills the void fine. Who was a white